What's good,
What's
Rafik?
up,
You all?
man? What's up, man?
Yo, yo. No, good. It's
How you doing?
yeah, really well, thank you, mate. Really well. I'm grateful to be on your show. Really, really grateful to be here.
Thank you very much. That's my honor, man.
No, you're welcome.
So, what topics do you cover usually?
Well, when I do a podcast, I mean, on my show, it's very kind of varied. So, I mean, I focus on like personal development. So, kind of mindset and
Yeah.
motivation, and I'm pretty flexible, really. I'm kind of go with the flow, but I tend
Well,
to still.
motivation is a really interesting topic. Everyone needs in these days motivation to achieve their dreams and their goals.
Yeah,
So it's an interesting topic.
yeah. I think
How about anxiety? Do you cover any anxiety topics?
yeah, I've definitely covered anxiety. I mean, sometimes people ask me about my own kind of dealings with it in the past. I'm pretty open, really. I think anxiety is important. I think in society now with COVID and the way the world is at the minute, I mean, there's a lot of people experiencing different levels of anxiety, if that makes sense, and kind of uncertainty. I think everyone has their own kind of battle with it at some point in their life.
Well, I suffered anxiety since I was a teenager.
Yeah,
Um, but to be honest, I never really knew what's going on with me. You know where I'm coming from.
yeah, yeah,
I never knew that I had anxiety or I knew what's anxiety whatsoever. I didn't know nothing about anxiety,
yeah.
but I knew something was wrong. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Uh, my brother gave me an advice, told me to go see a therapist. So I did therapy for 3 years.
Right.
It changed my life, man. I can't tell you. It changed my life.
Yeah.
So I learned that we have to live with anxiety, but we have to control it.
Yeah.
You know where I'm coming from. Anxiety is gonna live with you all your life, but you have to take control of it and
Mm.
manage it and learn uh, how to move on without anxiety affecting you.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm saying? So right now, I feel like I'm gonna help other people with anxiety, with addiction, with any mental health issues to uh, to move on in their life and achieve their dreams and goals. But everyone deserves to achieve his goals,
Mm.
and this is something like uh, I really wanted to do a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? But now was the right time to issue a page and really start this. You want to call it a business or whatever you want to call it. You know?
Like a consultancy and like self-employed and helping people. Yeah.
Exactly. What advice do you give people who suffer anxiety?
Yeah, I would say, you're not alone with, what you're experiencing. And there are going to be, I think when you're going through it, you can sometimes feel like you are alone, that it's just you that's going through it. And, you can get frustrated with the situation. I would say, you've got to, it's not a permanent solution, if that makes sense. It's a moment in time, it's a temporary place. And, you can help it can help by talking to other people, communicating how you feel, finding people you can trust and rely on to talk about what's going on for you, or whether that's a professional, whether that's a family member or friend, someone you can trust, or talking about it to someone who's been through it themselves, and it gives you that that clarity. For me, when I had anxiety, I spoke to my mother about it. I went to speak to professionals about it. I found that exercise really helped me, and communicating it. I mean, everyone's different. Everyone's got their own way of dealing with things, but you're not alone in it. So I think communicating it is a big step forward, if that makes sense. And as well,
Exactly.
like accepting it and not fight. You're trying to fight it. It's just going to make it worse. It's like adding more coal on the fire.
Exactly, man. Well, anxiety, man. To me, it's something that you're gonna live with all your life, but you have to take control. You know,
Yeah.
like it's like a father you have that's suffering any alcohol addiction, and you just have to live with him.
Mm.
But you have to make sure he doesn't affect your life. You know where I'm coming from.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
just
Yeah.
something bad you gotta live with all your life.
Yeah.
But you have to take control and manage it.
Mm.
To me, it was a fight. You know, it's like
Mm.
a legit fight.
Mm.
Um, it took me like several years to know how to live with my anxiety. I uh, sometimes I just can't. I couldn't leave my house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was gaining weight. Stress was killing me. I was gaining weight. I couldn't leave my house. Anxiety was like eating me out. Um, I couldn't speak to people anymore. Social media, I stopped it. I deactivated all my accounts. It took control of me. My only solution is to make my life a journey and a project.
Mm.
I had to divide all my issues and start with the easiest one. You know where I'm coming from?
Yeah, of
And
course.
achieve one by one. Make small goals, because if you make small goals and you fail, it's a small disappointment. If it's a big goal, it's a huge goal. When you fail, it's going to be a big and a huge
Mm.
disappointment that you can't sometimes overcome.
Mm.
So I had to make small goals to overcome where anxiety took me, to depression where the anxiety took me. I succeeded. It was a journey, and now where I stand from, I really am proud of myself, and I really want to help other people to know that you can fight anxiety, you can take control of your anxiety, you can overcome your depression, and go achieve your goals, and do whatever you really want.
Mm.
Do you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's a good point. And I think, like, you know, when you're going through that, or when you're coming out of it, you know, we can set big, massive goals sometimes that we want to feel X, Y, Z like this way. We want to achieve X, Y, Z. And I think, you know, sometimes when there may be big things or far away, it just adds that, it can increase that anxiety, it can add that pressure. And I think, you know, just by having those small goals and those, you could have big goals and have those small steps leading up to that goal, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
So I think
That's
yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I think it's definitely key. I think as human beings, you know, I was talking about this with someone today. We sometimes want it now. We sometimes want it quick, and sometimes it's just those little 1% that then lead up to that happening. You know.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm telling you, it's like a fight. Everyone can win it, but it has to be baby steps. That's what worked for me. You know where I'm coming from.
Mm.
But you have to have some connection to somebody you trust. It might be a therapist, it might be a life coach, it might be your father, your mother, your brother, because you really need help. You need someone to tell you it's fine, it's okay. You need someone to give you some self-esteem to move on
Yeah.
with your steps. That's why I issued my Instagram page, just to be around anyone suffering depression and anxiety, and tell them it's fine, it's okay, you can overcome it. I was there and I overcame it, so you can do it also.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people that suffer depression and anxiety move on to addiction,
Yeah.
alcohol addiction, drug addiction, because they hate their life. They have nothing to fear, nothing to care for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they want to feel good at the moment, because how bad they feel and how bad their life is going on, and that is another problem you have to solve before going to solve your depression and anxiety.
Mm.
I believe addiction is something that you have only two ways to go through. Either you die overdose,
Mm.
either you go to jail. You know what I'm saying? People, I don't know how drug is controlled in your country, but in one country, you're going to jail for sure. You know what I'm saying? When you get caught. So I feel that addicts are just like I don't know the word to tell you, but they are people that really need help because they're not bad people. They're not hurting anyone. They're not hurting you or me. They're just hurting themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they didn't go to their addiction because they really wanted it. Because their life was really miserable. You know what I'm saying? So they had to just feel good for a moment. And there are a lot of friends that tell you just go try it. I take a hit, take a puff. You know what I'm saying? Take a line.
Yeah.
So you go down that road. It's really dark out there. I have a lot of friends that suffered a drug addiction.
Yeah.
I took a look at their life, man. They really need help, and they're not bad people.
No,
they're
of course,
not bad people. They're just people that need help. Depression and anxiety took them that way. What I'm trying to say is anxiety and depression, if they're not really controlled at the right time, they can take you to make bad decisions. Some people go to suicide. We all know that. You know what I'm saying? Depression and anxiety are really miserable enough to take you down these roads. But anyone with anxiety and depression needs to seek help. Needs to seek help with someone who was there. It's easier to connect. You know what I'm saying? What do you think about it?
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think, when you're going through that, if someone's experiencing anxiety or depression, you're looking for an outlet. Sometimes people are looking for an outlet. And sometimes people, like you said, you mentioned addicts. Sometimes people looking for something to replace that emotion, that feeling, that place they're in. So they might engage in alcohol, they might engage in certain drugs, they might engage in certain activities to distract them. And then because, that can happen over time, they just become, addicted to that thing because they need more of it. They might need something else on top of what they were doing. So then you get caught in that. And, once habits get formed and developed, it's a lot harder to get out of that. And, it's a coping mechanism, it really, in some way. For me, when I had, like I said, I did exercise, I did lots of running. That helped make me feel better. I saw myself develop. And that increases your self-esteem when you see yourself develop in some way. That was my outlet, luckily. But for some people, it's a lot more different. It depends. I mean, anxiety is one big spectrum. And a lot of people who have never had anxiety or depression, it's, there are many reasons why. And the trauma of it is different for each person based on whatever is the reason why. So, it can be different time frames, it could be different. It's different for each person. But like you said, with addicts, I think we shouldn't judge people as, from their cover, because that addict, it might be a result of a trauma, it might be a result of something happening. So they're just, a bit lost, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
And it's not always a quick fix. It takes time.
The time you mentioned time, anxiety, depression, or addiction. All these three need time to overcome them. You know what I'm saying? But anyone suffering them can't wait. They just want to overcome it like right now. That's the problem with people suffering anxiety or depression or addiction. They can't wait. They don't want to wait. They don't want to give themselves the treatment to take its time. That doesn't work this way. They need to believe that it takes time. 10 years of anxiety and addiction, it's not going to be solved in 1 week.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it needs time. It might maybe take a year, but this year is your best year ever. You know what I'm saying? Because this year is going to change your life.
Yeah.
This year is going to change your life. You're going to grow in this year. You're going to change in this year. You know what I'm saying? But my advice to people with these problems, they need to seek help, man.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about help, like professional help. It might be someone in their family, you know what I'm saying, that can make them overcome, give them the self-esteem or the push enough to overcome these problems. But you want to do it right, you want to do it fast, you need to seek professional help.
Yeah.
What's your take on this?
Yeah, I've spoken to people who have gone through that, and for some people, the counseling and the therapy isn't helpful for some people. Some people, I mean, therapy and counseling deals with the past. If there's a trauma or something that's happened, you need that works on that. And some people prefer like coaching because it's more kind of forward focus, where you're at, where you want to go. So it works for everyone's different, and it depends on the trauma. But exactly. I think you have to ultimately seek professional help, but also with that, you have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to make that decision, and you have to be ready. Yeah, exactly. You have to be ready to change. You have to be wanting to.
You have to hold responsibility. You have to make this decision. If the person with these problems didn't hold responsibility or take this decision, no one can help them. No one can do anything for them. You know what I'm saying? How about people seeking goals, but they're too weak to achieve their goals? What do you think a good advice is?
I think a lot of the times, people sometimes are held back by their own because a lot of it's irrational thoughts and beliefs. A lot of people might have goals that they want to achieve something or they want to do something, but their own belief system keeps them in that place that prevents them from then taking the action to achieve that goal. So sometimes that happens, and it depends what the goals are. But I would say, set like we talked about earlier, set small steps to achieve those goals. And
exactly,
everyone's got their own way of planning, but plan it down. What can I do to achieve that goal? What steps do I need to take? So asking yourself certain questions, and believing in yourself and trusting in yourself. And it's a lot easier said than done sometimes, but you've got to ultimately go through those motions. It's, if you want to do something, you want to achieve something, you're going to have to sometimes go through discomfort. And human beings are wired to seek comfort. So, we like to stay in our comfort zone. So doing things out of the ordinary can be difficult, can be uncomfortable. For me, I had anxiety with lots of different things, and one of them was, stepping out into the unknown. But I would say ultimately, the more you do something, the better you get at it. And surrounding yourself with the right kind of people as well. Surrounding yourself with people who are going to believe in you, going to support you in your journey, and really get you. Because I think when you're around the wrong people, that can really slow you down. And if people don't understand anxiety that you're around, it's just going to make it even worse. So, surround yourself with the right kind of people, seek help, and you've ultimately, got to want to change for things to change, if that makes sense, and to trust the process and to be patient.
One question I always keep in my mind that gives me always push and to achieve any goal I have is, how bad do you want it? What I'm saying is, it's like, you really want this, you have to go get it.
Yeah.
If you don't want this, enough, it's not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? One story I heard that's always in my mind. A person went to a guru and asked him, "How can I achieve my goal?" He told him, "Meet me 4 o'clock in the morning at the beach." So 4 o'clock in the morning, the guru told to this person, "Go deep in this ocean." You know what I'm saying? The person told him, "I don't want to learn how to swim. I want to learn how to achieve my goals." He told him, "Do what I'm telling you. Go deep in this ocean." So he went deep enough that where he can't breathe anymore. The guru told him, "Come back." He told him, "What did you learn?" He told him, "I'm telling you, I don't want to learn how to swim. I want to learn how to achieve my goals." The guru told him, "Deep in this ocean, the only thing you are thinking about is how to get that breath to live." So if you want to achieve this goal, you have to act like it's the only breath for you. You have to want it like you want this breath to achieve your goal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, how bad you want this? You want it bad enough, you're going to find a way to achieve it. So this question is always on my mind. I always tell people about it. It's if you want it bad enough, you can make it. As you were saying, you can't have a big goal, but divide it into small steps to reach it. I really think anyone can achieve his goal if he had the right mindset. Because whatever you have in your mind is whatever you're really living.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? if you have bad thoughts in your mind, you're gonna suffer depression. If you have motivational thoughts in your mind, you're gonna be happy. What do you think about this?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, and I think, you know, like, it's your mindset, your intentions, your beliefs, and, you know, there's that quote, isn't there? If you're the person who says, if you're, I can do it or I can't do it, you know, it's the right kind of output, you know, based on thinking if you can do it or can't do it. You know, you're right in whatever you think, and I think a lot of the times people, you know, have had such bad experiences, or they have certain experiences where they've taken a belief system as to why they can't do it, or somebody might say something to them that they're not good enough at doing something, and then they believe that, or, you know, from trial and error, or, you know, their self-image. A lot of it is, you know, your mindset. It's where it all starts, and, you know, your subconscious mind as well is far more powerful than your conscious mind, and that overrides everything. So, you know, it's really kind of a battle with yourself sometimes. You know, you are the person that you look at in the mirror, and you're the person who's going to decide, you know, if you're going to do that. My friend Aviv said, truth, you got to be willing to die for it. Your goals are your deepest desires, anything you want to manifest. Yeah.
I agree. I read this.
Yeah, and, you know, you should. Yeah, and it's what you manifest, you know, what you think you become. And you see a lot of this in people. You know, you see successful people, and this is the thing as well. People always see the tip of the iceberg, and that, you know, where someone is, and, you know, their success and all of this. And it's all those failures in that journey and that process as well that got that person to where they are. So when you think of that and you keep that in mind, is that person didn't just start off out like that. You know, it gives you that trust and belief in yourself that you can do it if someone else has. And I think that's something that really woke me up and really made me think a lot recently. You know, you might see with people who are doing shows like this, you know, or doing podcasts. You know, what's stopping me from doing that? And, you know, people have to really get, as well, you have to get to know yourself, and you sometimes spending time alone by yourself is quite, you know, difficult, but it's a lot can happen in that, if that makes sense. It's like a cocoon, you know, like that turns into a butterfly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know, people tell you that, like, people say that they're not happy, but they're not happy. They're miserable. They're in depression. But I really believe, like, everyone should understand himself very well. Like you said, spend time alone. Spending time alone is very, 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 very important, man. Because when you're alone, you understand yourself more. When you're alone, you set your goals right. You know, and as you mentioned, surrounding yourself with the right people. You have to surround yourself with people achieving goals, setting goals, people motivated enough. Because whoever you surround yourself with, you're gonna come out to be like him, or like them. You know what I'm saying? A very important point. I'm gonna repeat again. Set small steps to this goal. You know what I'm saying? Because when you fail this step, it's a smaller disappointment than failing the whole goal. Yeah. When you fail a small step, you can come back up and do it again. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. The mindset has to be motivated. The mindset has to be positive all the time. Spending time alone and putting in your mind that I really can do it. No one's better than me. You know what I'm saying? It's and one more point. It's like, it's not the goal that you achieve. It's the journey, what you learn, and how you grow in this journey. Yeah. The way you grow in this journey makes you who you are today, or who you are gonna become tomorrow. Do you agree with me? Yeah. I feel I do agree with you, and I think, you know, like, that's something that I learned. I think, you know, from doing podcasting is it's a process, and, you know, it's a journey, and it's not a quick fix straight away. And, you know, like, sometimes people want it straight away. And I think, like, in life, you know, like, by, you know, making mistakes and having losses and failures, all of these uncomfortable things that we tend to avoid in life,
I think the more you experience these things, as horrible as it can be sometimes, you gain like a resilience to it. You know, you're gonna get a lot of no's along the way. Things might not work out for you, and you know that can be painful. You know, we can't overlook that, but through that continuous push, those setbacks and those no's don't hurt as much the more that they kind of happen sometimes. So you see that in life, you know, sometimes that people set out to do something, they get a failure, and then they stop. And that's okay, you know, but you have to get back on the saddle and get back in there and keep on going. And, you know, life's always going to, people think, you know, life's one, you know, you start here, then it's one uphill straight line, and it doesn't work like that. It's like this, and you might stay there for a little bit, and then it might go down a bit. And that, you know, it's that process and that journey, and then that gives you that perspective where you can appreciate where you once was and where you are now, and then another month from now, you know. So it's all of these little tiny, I think it's the little things that matter as well. The little things all add up.
Exactly. The small things you're talking about are really very important. People like overlook them. You know what I'm saying? Small things in life make changes. You can make a big change with small steps and changes. People overlook this, but this is very true. You know what I'm saying? And the experience you were talking about, everyone is what he experienced. Everyone gets his power through his experience. So I believe everyone should go their own path, have their own experience, to learn from it, and always keep their mindset positive and motivated, because whatever they have on their mind is whatever they're gonna do, or whatever they're gonna show in life. Last thing I want to say is seeking help is very important.
Yeah.
It's not something to be shy from, or something to overlook. Seeking help might change your life. Seeking help is gonna change your life for sure. So Adam, our 30 minutes are done. I don't want to waste your time more. It was an honor, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm really grateful to be on your show, and you know, I think you're doing great work in you know, doing these kind of shows, and you know, raising that awareness, you know, about mental health, and you know, a lot of the stigmas associated with it, because you know, people, I think it's getting out there more. I think since the pandemic, everyone's kind of experiencing their own mental health, you know, at some point, and in general life, you know, and it's okay. It's okay to have anxiety, to have depression. It's okay to experience these things, but you know, ultimately, you know, seeking help and pushing through that and growing, and then as well, you know, when you've come through that, you can relate to other people who've been through it as well, and you know, you can provide value and make a difference. You know, it's what you do with your experience, if that makes sense. Some people have anxiety or depression, and they fall into that victim mindset of, oh, I'm not okay because I'm depressed, or I'm not okay because I'm XYZ, and you'll stay stuck in that place. And sometimes people stay in that place because they get people feeling sorry for them. They get they get attention, and that can keep people there. But you know, you can get the right kind of attention by doing other things. So I think it's a whole massive spectrum, and it's so important, you know, to seek help, and you know, to be patient with it, and to trust yourself, and to trust the process. You know, there is a way out. You know, it's just you know, you're just in a temporary place, if that makes sense.
I really like what you said. I hate when people act like they're a victim of life. You're not a victim of life. You're just at the point you're too weak and you're depressed and your mindset is not right. No one is victim of life. Everyone should step back up, put the plan, and go through the battle to reach their goals. So Adam, thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. It was an honor.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I'm really looking forward to see you again.
Yeah, no, you too. And if you want to be on my show or my podcast, I'd be happy to have you on as well. We can always do this again as well.
Oh, really? All right, thank you. We're gonna plan this.
Yeah.
It's an honor for me to be on your show. Thank you very
No,
much.
you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Take care.
Peace.
Cheers, man.